welcome back. It's so wonderful to see you. Bienvenidos. If you're new, welcome. My name is Christina. It's the month of October and I want to do a hibiscus and orange wine. So if you're interested in seeing that, stick around. If you've seen my last video, or if you haven't, I suggest that you go check it out. Towards the end of the month, my family celebrates Dia de los Muertos, and that means the Day of the Dead. And that's when your family can come back and visit you and see the offerings that you left them and have those blessings from your family that's passed. What I'm gonna do is make Jamaica and oranges wine because that is what my suegra liked, which means my mother-in-law. She passed away before I could meet her, but I hear lots of great stories and I want to tell them to you guys as well. I'll put a list of the ingredients right here and you can just take your phone, screenshot it, and then you'll have all the ingredients and you can just follow along with what I'm doing. Let's get into it. I do recommend that you just go to the grocery store, look down international aisle, and you should be able to find this there or another type of brand. It says Flor de Jamaica, but that just means hibiscus flowers, and it's right there in English if you needed it. For this recipe, it's only going to be 2 ounces. This is a 8-ounce bag, which holds quite a bit. Another thing that I picked up is this. It's called piloncillo. Basically like 8 ounces of pure hardened sugar. The reason why I picked this out of the international aisle, the piloncillo, it is like pure sugar cane basically. What they did is they just crushed the sugar cane and collected the juice from it, and then they boiled it into a thick syrup. It's almost similar to like a molasses. After they would get it down to that consistency, they would just like pour it into a mold and they would dry it out. It's unrefined and it actually retains a lot of its natural vitamins, which is like potassium and calcium. But if you don't have this or can't find it, it's okay. You could just use regular sugar. I am going to be using other sugar as well, but I just wanted to put this in here because it does have a different flavor. It almost has like a brown sugar flavor to it. Piloncillo actually means like little loaf, which they call it a little loaf because of the shape that they molded in, but that's what I'm going to use this piloncillo for. Put it in the water, melt it down, use it along with other just plain white granulated sugar that I do have. I just wanted this just to make it more sentimental. As I don't have a scale or anything, I'm literally just going to guesstimate. I probably put a little over 2 ounces, but that's just me because I'm always like the more the merrier. I don't know when to stop. We're gonna let that boil and steep just like a tea. This pot over here, I'm gonna turn the heat down because we don't need it that hot. I just need it to be warm enough to melt the sugar. And I'm gonna take the piloncillo and I'm gonna drop it in here. And I'm gonna put the other one in. I did not get to meet my suegra in person. She passed away before I could have that opportunity, which I wish I would have. She came from a very respectable family. Her name was Alina. When Alina was young, her parents did not really approve of my father-in-law. They just kind of, you know, fell in love anyways and just did their own thing. My father-in-law, he worked through the military and he was basically like the FBI from Mexico, if that's what you want to call it. Everything was great between them. My mother-in-law, she was basically heaven sent to anybody really. From what I'm told, she was one of the kindest, most nicest people that you could ever meet. She was a very respectable, responsible woman. As far as a housewife or any type of wife, she was probably the most perfect woman you could possibly ever dream of. Come into your life and take care of you. My suegra, she had her first son, which is my husband. His dad and his mother just absolutely fell in love with him. That was like God's gift on earth, was their firstborn son. They named him after his dad. They were so happy and in love, and They would go out and just boogie the night down because I believe this was in like the 70s and stuff. Alina had 2 more children. Okay, so we need to let this cool. You see the steam kind of coming out of it. We can't move any further until this kind of cools down. Alina, she always made sure her kids had everything that they needed. If they were struggling, she always found a way. Unfortunately, throughout the years, my suegro, which he is not the same person that he was years ago. I don't know who that man was, and I do not recognize him for the actions that he did. But he took his money that he made, you know, working for the military, doing the FBI stuff, and he was focusing more on spending his money on women and cantinas. My husband and them, they had to move around quite a bit. Just like any other military brat in the United States, you have to move from station to station. For some reason, they always ended right back up in Yucatan. He would lose like his housing and things like that, and they would be homeless. And Alina would be homeless with 3 children that she had to raise practically on her own. So what Alina would do is she would go stay with my suegro's parents. They didn't treat her very well. They were constantly mean to her, didn't, you know, give the necessities that they needed for their own grandchildren to survive. So it was really up to Alina to make things happen all on her own. Alina would get odd jobs here and there, anything she could do to make sure that her children had food to eat and clothes to wear. Alina did it. Alina, no matter what, she loved her husband. She stuck by him as much as she could. Even through everything that he did to her, she forgave him. Alina was a humble woman, and later on in her years, she would go to tell my husband, no matter what your dad did, he's still your father, and you need to respect him and love him and just be there for him. Alina was very sufficient in learning how to take care of her children, no matter what the cost. Finding a way to find food to feed them. My husband, he adored his mother so much. He loved to dance. In Yucatan, they have like a special wardrobe that they would wear. And my husband, even him as growing up, he had to wear like a special wardrobe as well, where they would have like white shirts and a nice smooth hat and like little chanclas, like little sandals they have to wear. And then the women, I don't know if you can see her outfit, but they have this dress, beautiful dress to wear. She always tell my husband, like, I can't wait till you come home and visit me again because, you know, when we do, we're going to dance. And unfortunately, they never had that opportunity. Lina's nieto, which means grandson, he decided he needs to join us. Dad. This is Christian. He is, hi, say hi. He will be Alina's last grandson. He is a handful. Yes, you are a handful. But he's gonna be my hard worker and help me today. Yeah? ¿Vas a ayudarme? Sí. He's gonna help. Yeah. Okay, Christian, are you? Oh yeah? Is that what you think? Yeah, mezcla. So later on in life, as her children got older, they all started to build families of their own. She was a very wonderful grandmother to all of her kids. Especially, she was adamant about my husband and what type of wife he was going to have. The type of wife he deserved and needed was a woman that could cook, could clean, could iron, and do everything she could. I personally would like to think beyond the whole perfectionist thing and see where she was really trying to show her family the ins and outs of being a wife. If you really want to have a good marriage, then this is how you need to do it. Alina did more than just that. She tried to show her sons too, like, if you want to be a good husband as well, this is how you need to be a good husband. You should always respect your wife, always respect a woman, don't hit a woman, don't do this, don't do that, you know. She knew by the book how the life in the world was supposed to be, and she tried to put as many consejos, which means advice, as possible to her children on how to live a good, happy life, a good, happy marriage, how to have children, how to raise them in a healthy, happy way, because she had a lot of consejos to give, a lot of advice to give. She's already lived this life. She knows what it's like. She's been there, done that, and she wants the best for everybody. I really believe that if she was here today, I would love to have her around as much as possible, even though maybe there are times she would give me a hard time, but it would be from the best of her heart, of the reason why she would do it, because she wants everybody to have a better life than what she did. We practically made it to the end. 24 hours later, if you have a whole yeast pack, you only need 1/4 of it because we're only doing 1 gallon wine. So this is my airlock I'm going to use. So I'll just put it right here for now. That way it just keeps any bugs out. We don't have anything going in there that we don't want going in. And then tomorrow, after 24 hours, I will go ahead and put some wine yeast in. Unfortunately, Lena, she developed breast cancer. She fought it for a while. She thought that she had gotten rid of it. But unfortunately, it did come back again, but it ended up into her lungs after mastectomies and everything. So once it reached her lungs, they could only do so much to drain it and this and that. My husband, he couldn't be there until almost the last minute. And when he did arrive to Mexico to see her in the hospital, she knew she was about to pass, and she told him, hey, can you go downstairs? Can you do this for me? And while he was in the elevator, he had the phone call to say, hey, your mom just passed. Get back up here. She sent him off because she didn't want him to see her die, which I completely understand. My husband was like a mama's boy. She was everything to him. She means the world. You know, he still cries over her today, and grief can last a lifetime. And I know one day when they meet each other again, not saying that's going to be anytime soon, I know that they're going to dance to that one song that they really was planning to do when he could arrive back home safely. I wish she was here to see all of her grandchildren because she never got to see them physically. But I do believe that she is there spiritually. I believe she's watching over them because there are times when, you know, the kids get really sick or whatever, and we pray to God and we pray to their guardian angels. And I believe that one of their guardian angels is their abuela, and I believe that she watches over all her grandchildren, all her great-grandchildren, everybody, and make sure that they all heal and live good lives. Alina was a Catholic and believed in the Divino Niño, which is the divine child, and she even painted her house in blue because she believed so much that, you know, he would be there for her and love her and trust her and take care of her. And she also had the Mother Mary because that's the way she was. She was almost like a Mother Mary. She was almost just so innocent and so pure at the same time, and loving in everything that she did. So she was a really wonderful woman. I wish I could have met her. The stories that I've been told about her makes me only feel like I would meet somebody on the red carpet.